What is up, YouTube?
Hi.
Giving honor to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
My name is Marcus,
I'm Christian.
and this is Marriage for Dummies Reacts. And today, Joseph Mastano has asked us to react to Elvis Presley in our black community. I believe it's like a documentary piece.
Awesome.
Let's go.
We like this stuff, y'all. Thank you.
Like and subscribe, man.
I thought he was a very beautiful, and still is, a very beautiful person, and his memories shall probably forever live on.
Well, you ain't nothing but a rabbit. You ain't no friend of mine.
There is no room in this city for the vulgar performances of Elvis Presley.
It's shocking. I watched him gyrate his legs and swivel his hips. And our parent-teachers group feels he should not be on television.
We've set up a 20-man committee to do away with this vulgar, animalistic, nigger rock and roll bop. Our committee will check with the restaurant owners and the cafes to see what Presley records is on their machines, and then ask them to do away with them.
You've learned anything?
No disrespect, but I don't really respect that type of stuff in the black community either. Honestly, I mean, I love Elvis for the stuff he did, but I will say that I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't respect it in our black. I don't respect our black community for doing stuff like that. I don't.
Like what?
Like gyrating.
Yeah. Because it's kind of like what does it say? Like when it's like the saying where you let in a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it lets in a lot.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of where people were coming from.
Yeah.
Now, granted, there's better ways to do it. There always is.
Yeah.
And it's just being straight up with that fact. It's just like, hey, look, kudos to Elvis. He's super talented.
Yeah.
It's just, if we let in a little bit,
Yeah.
it's letting in a lot of it. And so now we got women out here shaking their booties. And
Yeah.
But it starts from somewhere. And that's all that we're getting to of why that may possibly be a bad thing. But not saying it's Elvis's fault either. But it's just letting in a little bit, and then it turns into a lot more sometimes, you know?
I'm just saying I see where they're coming from.
Yeah.
I see where they're coming from. But it doesn't take anything from Elvis as an artist.
Oh no. And the thing is that, like we always say, we're here for truth. And and the thing is that the truth is that you have to be able to look at it from both people's perspectives. Yeah. You know what I mean? Elvis probably didn't think that he was intentionally doing anything to do that. And then the white people were not intentionally, they were trying to protect their kids.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to see it from all angles. And that's the way that you're able to follow the truth. And the truth is Jesus. You know what I mean? So that's what we're here for. To break things down in truth.
Yeah.
You know? Without emotion.
Yeah.
The criticism level that you.
I mean, on both, like I said, on both sides, like, because I look at, like I said, I look at the R&B, I look at the hip hop these days, and I look at how
they don't know what they're doing.
They don't know, like they don't know, but I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like
look,
now that I know, I'll be trying to express the truth. Like, look, the truth is that kids don't need to be seeing that stuff.
Yeah,
like,
I was one of them. I mean, how I dance, I was like, that's how I dance. That's how I express myself and things like that. But the thing is that you have to be able to tell yourself the truth, and the truth is that, but by dancing that way, it gains a particular kind of attention.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, you know what I mean? But you got to be able to see through that stuff, you know, in order for the betterment for everyone around you. Yeah. You know, we got to truly care. But yeah.
No, I haven't. You haven't, huh? Because
oh yeah. I mean, I had this.
But God bless y'all. We love you. Seriously. What a
like
cool one to do, Joseph. Thank you so much for this. We appreciate you, man, so much.
Like and subscribe.
Yes.
Don't unsubscribe.
Don't leave us now. Just kidding. All right, let's go.
I don't feel that I'm doing anything wrong.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog. The crying old time.
Rock and roll has got to go. And go it does at KWK. We're all through playing rock and roll records. This week is record-breaking week here at KWK. And after this week, no more rock and roll will be played on the air.
The obscenity and vulgarity of the rock and roll music is obviously a means by which the white man his children can be driven to the level with a nigger, it is obviously nigger music.
Everybody mostly turned him down. And because first thing, he had Negroes' ways. This is what they didn't, really at that time, they didn't want to accept.
By black performers, and he, in essence, because of at that particular time, the kind of backwards mental capability that many people had, as judging a person because of the color of their skin, as somewhat still does exist. But back then it was worse, and he actually, because of him being a Caucasian brother, he was able to do away with that whole thing.
He's 77-year-old Early Wright, a disc jockey at radio station WROX in Clarksdale for 45 years.
Hi there. Pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How do you do? This is your soul man to be with you until I get through. I want you to stand by, don't have no fear. Following Jay's show, should I play one like this one from out of here? Elvis Presley.
Elvis's songs still get good play on radio.
I like him.
Elvis Presley.
I like him.
Elvis Presley.
He's so cute. Babe, do we need to fast forward through some of it so we don't get copyrighted?
As long as we stop.
Oh, okay. Okay, just making sure. So that's why we got to keep stopping to make sure we don't get copyrighted. Okay, friends?
Wright's program.
I mean, we could split it into two parts if we want to. I mean,
either way.
Among the blues, gospel, and jazz recordings that are its staples. It was almost 40 years ago when Elvis drove down to Clarksdale from Memphis with a record and asked him to play it.
And I had been playing his record. And I had never seen him before. And I was amazed to see him. When he introduced himself to being Elvis Presley, then I went all the pieces over him. Then he and I started talking. I used to be the manager of a gospel group called the 4-Star Quartet. And I could listen to a man sing a hymn. I could listen to a man sometime talk. I did that. And I could pick him out whether he could fit in my group. And talking to Elvis Presley, I could see a great future in him.
It's no accident that Wright recognized Elvis's strong gospel roots. Here at the East Trigg Baptist Church in Memphis, older members of the congregation remember Elvis joining in with the choir while in high school. These were rousing sessions led by the charismatic pastor, the Reverend W. Herbert Brewster.
Like most black people in the South, and to whose throat God has pressed down a harp of 1,000 strings, it only needed tuning. Elvis's voice was that type of voice that agreed with the thought of Calvary. He had that kind of bent and inclination and attitude that suggested that God could use him.
And like that's the thing too, is that through all of that, like we were talking about, you know, gyrating and the type of dancing and things like that you do, look, God can use all angles of that in order for his glory. Is that even through that people may have been turned off by it, or may have, you know what I'm saying? Either way, we don't know his relationship with God. You know what I mean? The bottom line is that a lot of one side, a lot of the other side towards Elvis will be that, well, he isn't a Christian man because he does that, or he's not a godly man because he does that, and things like that. And it's like, look, the bottom line is that he has a relationship with God, and that's between them two. But the truth is that by doing certain things, like if we cursed on this, it would kind of turn you off a little bit, right? If are they truly Christians? Is that really what they do by following God? That kind of thing. And that's kind of what it's like by that type of dancing. It's not, it wasn't any ill intention behind him dancing like that. He was just dancing. But it's in order to understand how people may perceive things and how, in order to move accordingly to give God the full glory. But he still was used by God through that all. You know what I mean? Like that was a God-given talent. He sings gospel songs. People admire him and maybe come to God through Elvis as well. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen stories in the comments on our page even of how Elvis does that for them. So God works. God speaks through things irregardless. It's just in this world we have to be able to break things down in truth, you know?
I mean, like I said, I mean, it all boils down to being lukewarm. Like, all right, listen, so people like you that are like, oh man, but he did do, okay, that's because you have discernment. You have discernment to you know how to eat the chicken and leave the bone. But a lot of people don't know how to eat the chicken and leave the bone, okay? So us as Christians have to move in a way and such where we understand that people ain't going, like, we representing Christ out here. So we got to understand it in that perspective. Again, much love to Elvis, but I'm still not here to lie. You know what I'm saying? I'm not here to make to just ease over it and say it, because I wouldn't do it. Listen, with black community, I'm not doing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I used to, but now I look at a black community and I say, this behavior is not good for a well flourishing society. It's not helping marriages. It's not helping things like that. So I'll say that he in himself is not the cause for everything falling apart.
Not at all.
But I'll say the lukewarmness is. It did help. No matter how much we love the person, you gotta kind of separate, like,
because it started that confusion, and God is not an author of confusion. You know what I mean? Where is this really how God? You know what I'm saying? Like, it should be very clear, and we have to move that way in order to not cause any confusion and make people steer away, at any cost, because it is that serious about our eternity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and you can be torn. You can be torn, but you have to, as true Christians, you have to acknowledge the truth. Like, you have to acknowledge the truth and say.
And that's coming from imperfect people that still every day work towards that and try. And that's the whole beauty of the whole thing, is that we aren't here to,
no,
how dare them, or this and that. No.
But we do love.
We sympathize and empathize and understand that, dude, we do that every day as well. You know, but we take up our cross and so that we don't cause any confusion in this world. You know? And
I acknowledge we are, and if you look at our us on like hip hop and stuff like that, we're just as brutal. We're brutal on that.
Oh,
like, we're brutal on it because kids.
Yes.
We're brutal on it because the next generation.
Yeah.
So I mean, take what you want from that, but I mean, like, when we asked to do a reaction to something, bro, we
gotta tell the truth.
Y'all love us because we
here
keep
for
it true.
The truth.
So.
Yeah. God bless y'all.
I gave the music a different approach, a new beat. I knew that it wasn't going to hurt if I said, "Must Jesus bear the cross alone," whether I've said with one beat, two beat, whether I've said it high or low. And I told them, come on in here and put your stuff together. They came in here, and it was a glorious experience, and Elvis was in that group.
Elvis came out with a style of his own, and it was very creative. And once he got into it, and you got that feel, Elvis just took off like a late freight. And with Elvis doing this kind of music, gave an injection to black music that no other artist had ever done.
It was like an earthquake in my neighborhood. The whole place was shaking when he came on. And I said, how did a person possess that kind of power? That it even comes off the TV and grabbed me in this ghetto neighborhood.
Elvis took my Tutti Frutti, and I was very disgusted. But by him singing it, he really made it bigger and made me bigger.
During those days, if it was a white artist doing something, they would just say, they don't like our blacks and we don't like them either. He's nothing but a copycat. But Elvis Presley, when he came on, chicks was screaming and going crazy, and it was just like any other neighborhood. And I said, this guy's got something going, man.
Elvis had something that made him sound like he truly meant it, and that's what made a lot of people like myself like him.
I think Elvis had lots of soul. He appealed to black people. He definitely had to have soul in order to do that.
I think there's ever been an artist that when his name went on the marquee, they knew he was coming. People came from all over the world. I never heard of that.
Elvis did a lot of stuff that, rappers do these days.
He had the bling. You gotta have the bling when you from Memphis.
He had the bling, he had a Cadillac, he had like a gangster in it.
He had like gangster.
As the snow flies.
Yeah, see that?
That's hilarious.
On a cold and gray Chicago morning, a poor little baby child is born in the ghetto.
The song also resonates with people who've only met Elvis through his songs.
I was talking about the hood, they're talking about where we come from.
Paul Beauregard and Jordan Houston are the Oscar-winning rap duo 3 6 Mafia. They grew up just 2 blocks from Graceland in one of Memphis's poorest neighborhoods.
I want a CD scratcher.
My mom used to always listen to this song when I was young. He talked about, things that she went through. She had my mom had a bunch of kids, like 9 kids. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get somebody to listen to your song. You talk about what they know about and what they want to hear. And she know about ghetto because, she lived in ghetto.
Again, but though, they got hip hop's worst influences talking about this though. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, don't go and get 3 6 Mafia. 3 6 Mafia. 3 6.
Why? What did they do?
3 6s Mafia. 3 6 Mafia.
Oh.
Do you understand me?
I didn't even catch.
Don't go get 3 6 and the stuff they talk about, man. I just can't. I don't respect it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, genuinely, this is. But
this is coming from like we used to make this
hip hop artists.
Yeah.
Like, I did it for 15 years.
Yeah.
And I realized, dude, bro, once if it is
let
not
in a little bit,
you let in. Yeah. You say, all right. Well, I can get behind. I'm gonna get behind Christ. And then you see somebody else that got a little bit of Christ in them, but the rest of them is rotten. You can't just say, all right, well, I mean, I can listen to somebody these days and take in the truth that they say and with discernment disregard the rest. But what about the people who can't? It ain't about us. It ain't about us as Christians who can eat. Again, it ain't about us who's Christians who can eat the chicken and leave the bone. It is about the other ones who can't eat the chicken and leave the bone.
Yes.
They take the chicken and the bone and then they admire the person that does it and their ways.
Yes.
And you know who's the most susceptible to that? Children.
Yes.
Because in the black community, I was a susceptible child to it. I was doing gospel music at first and then switched over to hip hop and rap and stuff like that because I didn't see anything wrong with it. Because I'd be like, shoot, people shout out God at the awards, thank God, and okay, so they follow God, and I take their actions with that. So I look at my kids and I look at kids like that and say and see how much are they going to lean towards lukewarmness because of their actions. But yeah, that's 3 6 Mafia. Look, this is gonna get us.
It is. Thanks a lot, Joseph. I'm just kidding. We love you, Joseph. God bless you, man. We love you for this request.
But I love the black community. I love all communities. But as they ain't help it. They ain't helping it. They not helping 3 6 Mafia, and they're sipping on some scissor.
Yeah.
And then that brings the painkiller epidemic into the black community. Ain't like we ain't just get over a crack epidemic in there. And you see what I'm saying? All of that stuff that they stand for.
And that's the danger of the lukewarmness that we were talking about earlier, because next thing you know, there's cancer in there that is going unrecognized because of the lukewarmness. It's so comfortable. Yeah. Lukewarmness is comfort. Like, it's easy. It feels good sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, that's what the dangers of lukewarmness is. And there's a quote in the Bible where it says, in your mouth, like, what is he? I'm gonna find it, or let y'all in the comments let me know. I'm brain farting it right now, but about the taste in your mouth of it's like lukewarm water. That's what it is to be with God.
It's if he will spew out of his mouth.
Yes,
he'll spew you out of his mouth. He's lukewarm, and that's that's
the
just how
dangers
we
of
stand.
That, you know,
like
because next thing you know, you're shaking your booties and having drugs in your house and all this different stuff. We know because we were part of that. Yeah. I fell to it as well.
Ask the artists, ask these hip hop artists. Look up D1 and ask these and you can ask these. Look at D1. D1 talks about this, but ask hip hop artists about what they're doing, and they'll say that it's okay to do what they're doing because they also serve turkeys during Thanksgiving to the poor people.
Yeah.
Okay, so while causing detriment and talking about selling drugs and shooting, they are also doing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, this doesn't correlate to Elvis, but do you see the trickle down effect.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that once something is glorified a little bit, dude, Satan just all he need to do is get his head in a little bit, and then he can squeeze in entirely.
Yes.
And that's what it is that it
don't leave any room for Satan to be able to get in, and that's the thing.
It went from gangster rap that ain't talking about shooting, really just talking about if you do something you gonna get shot and we ain't really shooting each other, to the Chicago kids killing each other on the block and rapping about the actual person that they killed. Do you see how much worse it gets?
Yeah.
You let them in a little bit, it gets worse. And this again, this is about 3 6 Mafia. This is not about Elvis.
Don't kill us.
I'm saying that, but the fact that you got these guys up here as they
talk for Elvis.
Yeah, they not. I'm saying they up here talking for the black community, and and they don't need to be. Look at our role models.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this, and everybody just cool. 3 6 Mafia talking about 3 6 Mafia.
Yeah.
We don't ride with 3 6 Mafia. All right.
Yeah,
As Christians, we don't do that. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. No, this is like I said. I separate the sin from the person, but I'm just saying, as their work, their fruits are rotten. The fruits are rotten. Like,
that's real.
I love the people, I love them, but their fruits are rotten, and that's no denying that. That's the truth. Yeah.
In the ghetto,
that's it.
And his mama cries. But if there's one thing that she don't need, it's another hungry mouth to feed in the ghetto.
After we find the part on the record that we want to use, we sample it into the drum machine or the keyboard. That way we can loop it like.
My first line says, first I'm broke, so I hang out with the rat and roach. It's still broke, so I'm sleeping on apartment floors. So it's just like the struggle, you know, what's going on in the hood. First I'm broke, so I hang out with the rat and roach. It's still broke, so I'm sleeping on apartment floors. And I was off beat, but it's all good, cause it's on TV. maybe do some edits, make me look cool, maybe put my name in the credits.
Once we have all that ready, we load it into the drum machine and then pay out.
So he starts to roam the streets at night, and he learns how to steal, and he learns how to fight in the ghetto.
Survival is an everyday task. Watching your back for the man wearing the mask. I say you might get stuck if you in the hood looking like you came up. We ride old school whips, high off the ground, right beside a player hill. It ain't as bad as it seems. We still stay fly, looking so clean.
First I'm broke, so I hang out with the rat and roach. And still broke, cause I'm sleeping on apartment floors. The junkies get up, kick when they smoke a brick. I never seen a drug dealer ever call it quits. The hood struggle is to make you gotta get the change. See, every day is like a dark cloud full of rain. The feds tapping for what's dangerous when you hood trapping. So don't get lost in the sauce slinging, cold crackling.
So help your brother along the way, no matter where he starts. But the same God that made you made him too. These men with broken hearts.
During the 60s and early 70s.
But that nugget of truth, that nugget of truth.
Yeah.
And
that's the truth, is that, that is the proper way to move, is that, and that's the thing, is that, but what are you really doing to help bring them up? Not Elvis, but I'm saying in the black community.
I say this. So that, what if that was track number 7? What about track number 8 and 6? That's that message now solidifies for the people. Okay, so they made this, so now, but they did make this song. So the rest of this stuff we can ignore. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's the danger. Do you understand? That's the danger. It's what the danger is.
As kids that were part of a society where we fell into it because of it. That's where we're coming from. Yeah. So
you mentioned God, where we all behind. Hey man, it's all good.
And that's why we were confused when God started manifesting in our lives. That wait, it's this God?
Yeah.
I thought that this is a different type of God because your perception of what God is and who God is so distorted.
Yep.
Because you're mixing in the devil in there and you're unaware. Yeah. And that's the thing, is that it's just an unawareness, and that's what we're trying to do, is bring awareness.
Yes.
We were asked to do this as a request, and we're so grateful for it because it's getting the truth out there, you know? We love you, Joseph.
Yep. Yeah, and also, let me see. Why are we in? We're gonna run through all of it. Yeah, this will be the longest one when you're done. Yeah.
This is cool though. We kind of like this stuff because again, it's ways to express the truth in a different way, you know. So whatever God wants us to do.
Yeah, I want to let y'all know that let's start with this. Look, subscriptions. Hey man, make sure y'all hit the subscribe button and like and subscribe. I don't know how much y'all going to like and subscribe after this.
Yeah.
But there you go. Look, man, we down in this. We down in the subscriptions, man. We got people watching, but they ain't subscribed. God bless you. Please subscribe. And also, we do have merchandise. What we hear for what we do here normally, like what our main purpose is.
Yes.
that God has shown us our purpose is to speak on marriage and how important marriage is in this society.
Yes.
And also the truth.
And to follow the truth. And that's all we're trying to do here,
Yes.
y'all. I promise. It comes from truly wanting to serve people and serve God.
Yeah.
That's what God tells us to do, you know?
Yes.
So, yeah, that's what we're here for. We love y'all.
Yeah, yeah.
When tensions between blacks and whites were at an all-time high, Elvis demonstrated his desire for racial reconciliation in the musicians that he chose and the treatment they received.
Now that's of God.
Yeah.
That is doing the right thing. That's
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the whole thing that we're talking about here is that you got to be able to have discernment and be able to take the truth out.
Yeah.
For what it is, always, and irregardless of emotion, because the truth is that was God-like to do that.
Yeah.
As well. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you got to be able to decipher.
Take the chicken and leave the bone, but don't not acknowledge the bone.
Yes.
The bone is there. You know what I'm saying? But we do take the meat. We do take the meat and we acknowledge the good that he's done.
Absolutely.
I just want that. I wouldn't.
I mean, for all we know, like this is how God works too, is that he's able to see everything piece out and play out according to his plan. Yeah. Okay. From his perspective, from our level of perspective, for all I know, because of the things that Elvis did in order of getting black and whites together is the only reason why me and him are able to be together.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? It's things like that we're able to take out as of truth. You know what I mean? So you just have to be able to understand that we have no idea exactly how everything plays out for what it is, but to be able to see the truth in everything.
Yes.
So, yeah.
When we first decided to take the gig with Elvis, we had no idea that there would be any racial flack regarding it. Our first racial encounter was when we went to Texas. Elvis was told by his people that, well, you can leave the black girls home. You don't have to bring them. So Elvis wasn't going to do the Astrodome unless his girls could be with him. And he demanded that we be given the star treatment. We had to be in our convertible where everybody could see us, and our little blonde could drive us. And that was his statement. You don't like it? Deal with it, or I'm not going to be there. And I thought that was very big of him.
When I joined the group in 1972, they took a big chance because there were no blacks in contemporary or Southern gospel music, and I was the first one, and it made all the headlines and everything. It was in Billboard and all the newspapers in Tennessee. And my first time meeting Elvis he had a folder full of clippings of things that he had read about me. As a matter of fact, the Imperials brought me to his suite and he gave me this folder with all the clippings, and he personally welcomed me into the family. And for a guy who, you know, didn't really know where he stood, this was very important that he acknowledged my presence and, you know, made me feel very much a part of what we were all doing. And right away, he treated me like he'd known me for years. He gave me one of those TCB chains and everything, and I was just one of the guys, and I never forgot that.
And I've been around him with other people of color, and I've only seen him give love. was very generous to people that he didn't even know. You didn't have to be of any racial persuasion for him to love you.
And you know how rumors get started when there's a big star or something. The people will start rumors. Well, he doesn't like this kind of people, or he doesn't like those people or that people. And I never got that from him.
But you know, Elvis is a whole nother thing. I think it's scary to even be compared to people in that, like, you know, I mean, because he's such a big talent, and in his absence, of course he's bigger than in his presence. And music marks time, so in this time period, what Elvis was to his period would be something totally different. Well, I think rock and roll, I mean, what he brought to Vegas is more than rock and roll. I mean, I think it's just so much going on out here on the entertainment front. Like right now, you'll see the likes of Celine Dion and Tony Braxton. It's a lot going out here. You know what I mean? As far as rock and roll is concerned, it's great. I mean, Elvis Presley was able to do things that haven't been able to be duplicated to this day.
Black American music influenced Elvis. The fact that people say, well, he's the king of it all, king of rock and roll, is a slap in the face to those that made the music possible in the first place. Not to say he wasn't brilliant. I think he was a fantastic, talented singer.
I don't think he ripped them off. I think once something has been exposed.
Yeah, I don't agree with him ripping anybody off.
Yeah.
I don't agree with him ripping anybody off because, I mean, dude, if you change the color of the skin,
yeah,
it's totally, it's not ripping anybody off. What do you mean, man? Like, what are we doing, man?
I mean, it's kind of taking back all of the racial things that Elvis was trying to do by saying that statement. And it's like, dude, I'm trying to be inclusive because y'all made an impression on me, so I'm trying to make an impression on you all in a good way. Like, it's that thing of serving others. You know what I'm saying?
I can't do nothing for y'all Negroes.
I hate you. Help.
Yeah.
But no, the thing is that he was influenced by it because he was around it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, he made a whole song talking about being in the ghetto. He was around it.
Yeah.
So of course he's going to be influenced by it. Of course he's going to take on those things that you're seeing. Just like in life and everything, what you're around is a big part of becoming who you are. That's just the truth. Where you're around, where you're born, that's a huge part of what makes you who you are. And so Elvis was around that, and that's a big part of who he is. It's not taking from anything. Yeah. It's absorbing things, because that's what you do when you're in a society. You're adapting. You're becoming part of the society you're in, you know?
Yeah, it took a white man to give us a voice, and we asked for it, and then he did what he could to give us one. And then when we got our voice, we told him how he wasn't accepted.
Yeah.
As soon as we got the voice, it's like, man, I don't know about him. But
do you know how much I heard even growing up of that Elvis stole that from the black community? Yeah. That's all I knew of Elvis. Wild. I didn't even know Elvis that much. You know what I mean? But I've definitely heard that growing up. You know what I'm saying? That's wild.
He used it to give the black community a voice, and then we turn around. It's the lack.
Stole our. Yeah.
It's the Garden of Eden story all over again. Not focusing on the abundance. It's, as soon as you get a bunch, and then it's like, no, but we want it all.
Yeah.
Like, we want it all, or it ain't enough, and that's what it is, man. It's the lack. Not focusing on abundance, focusing on lack. Yeah.
Both. Anyone can add or take from it if they like. He was just so great, so popular, so hot, so anything that he played, it became a hit. To me, they didn't make a mistake when they called him the king.
The only thing I want to know, was he my friend? Did I enjoy him as a performer? Did he give the world of entertainment something? Yes, on all counts. And that's the name of that tune.
He was a bundle of energy set to music. And that echo will never die.
And that's the truth.
Yeah.
It's an echo that will never die. Like, how it's 2024 just about.
Yeah.
And we're still talking about Elvis. Like, that is an echo. Like, that, I love the name of this, is that it's an echo, because it is like his life affected so many from then on, and that is why as we walk through our lives we have to be so imperative of what we do with it, how we move, how we act. Are we, you know what I'm saying? And especially if we're followers of Christ.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the importance of that.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Joseph, for this.
And if you want to do like Joseph did and get us to react to something that's going to blow our socks off,
It really did.
Yeah, or get us canceled.
Yeah,
go
definitely.
ahead and go into our links that are in our description, and you can. We got our Cash App, we got our PayPal, we got our Venmo. You send the reaction that you want us to. You send a video you want us to react to, and we will react to it. Man, we get so many requests that the best way to do it is through the donation, because going to the comments, we
and any amount, and we try to cipher through it and all, but I promise y'all. But we love you so much.
Yeah.
And go check out the next one, because by this point we'll have them both up there on a playlist. So go check it out.